Here's what you should know about your local housing market in this week's Market Update. We are just the week before Christmas, a time that is typically very slow in the housing market. Now, the statistics show us that is ringing true in the actual transactions taking place currently. However, I'm seeing a surprising uptick in inbound calls of people that are starting to plan for buying or selling a home in the new year. I will tell you, those people are very wise. We see a very low inventory environment. Before we know it, the new year will be upon us. We'll see activity kick up. And those that are planning ahead, you might be busy with the holidays, but at least put the ball in our court. Let us start planning for your potential move or your home sale or purchase. So this week, let's look into the stats for Morristown, Chatham, Madison, Harding, Mars Plains, Mendham, Chester, Bernardsville, Basking Ridge, and Randolph. This past week, we saw 14 new homes come on the market. That is even with last week, so no changes in those numbers. However, we saw a greater mix of houses over condos and townhouses, with 10 single-family houses and 4 condos or townhouses. The average list price this past week was $1,221,000. That is a 38% increase over the prior week. Not surprising. Single-family houses are typically, on average, more expensive than typical condo or townhouse. Total inventory was very low last week. It was very low the week before. It is even lower this week. We are down to 145 homes actively on the market. That is a 12% decrease over last week. So if you are thinking of selling your home, I know a lot of people are thinking about maybe selling their home in the spring. These stats are reasons why you should consider maybe moving that timeline up. A lot of people are anticipating, there's going to be all this activity in the spring. I'm still working with many buyers, and there's such low inventory. You have low competition if you are looking to sell in this market. So good idea to jump on that opportunity. Total homes sold. We saw 26 homes sell this past week. That's a 24% decrease over the prior week. Not surprising. There's less homes to sell, so less homes are going to sell. The average list price of homes that sold this past week was $1,169,000. The average sale price was $1,152,000. However, the average sale to list ratio of homes sold this past week was 1.4% above the list price. We've been through this before. Why is that? Okay, because we're looking at an average of the sale to list ratios throughout the town, not the sale to list ratio of the average list price and of the average sale price. So on average, homes are selling above the list price. So we saw only one town where homes sold below the list price, and that was in Bernardsville, and that was actually substantially below the list price. We saw this past week the average, on average, homes sold 16% below the list price. That is pretty astronomical. However, the rest of the towns, homes sold above the list price. We saw Mendham where homes sold at list price on average. Otherwise, we saw homes sell anywhere from 0.5% above list price in Basking Ridge, all the way up to 7.9% above the list price in Randolph. So we're still seeing most of the time homes selling above list price. Some of the numbers for you: 3.8, 1.9, 5, 6.9, 2.7, 7.9% above the list price. So do expect that if you're buying right now, that you will likely see a bidding war. While buyer activity might be lower than normal, the inventory is just super low. So when a good house comes on the market, it is gone and it is super competitive. Average days on market of homes that sold this past week was 27 days on market. That's a 7% increase over the prior week. And then under contract, we saw 26 homes go under contract this past week. That is a 73% increase above the prior week. Average list price of homes that went under contract was $1,020,000. That's a 14% decrease over the prior week. Not surprising, because they saw the average list price of homes that were listed last week was lower than normal. And then median days on market is for the homes that went under contract this past week was 30 days on the market. That's a 34% decrease over the prior week. I think I might check in with you again next week. It is Christmas week. I'm expecting extremely low activity, but I am curious to see how low. So I might just check in with you briefly just to give you a quick update to see how slow the market is really during Christmas week. But thanks so much for checking in with me. I hope you are enjoying your Hanukkah this week, and I hope you have a phenomenal Christmas next week. Thanks for checking in. I'll catch you guys hopefully again next week. Have a great Christmas.